Is there something particular about color that an artist should be aware of? I mean, it's kind of an ironical statement to make, but is there something particular about color in the work of an artist, of yourself actually? I mean, what questions do you ask yourself about color? I mean, do you see something immediately and have an idea of what color you're going to render it? I mean, do you paint from nature? I mean, that's another story, but I'm not necessarily talking about painting from nature because, like I said before, as I was saying now, I'm not looking at representation when I'm talking about art as such. The representational part of art is extremely important, but it's not the one I'm trying to talk about. I'm just talking about just when you want to do a piece of work, do you see color first? Do you think about your work in color? Do you have a shade that is you're familiar with or that you particularly like? I mean, how do you approach color? I say this because in art there's something that's very important that sometimes is overlooked for reasons that I couldn't even guess if I tried, but people overlook the importance of color. The psychological set of reasons why people react to certain colors, like certain colors, hate certain colors, and such like is quite profound. So, as an artist, I think you'd be smart if you understand the psychology of color, that you actually study what it does, because if you know anything about advertising, color psychology is part of why some ads work better than some ads, why logos like Coca-Cola logo or BMW logo, whatever logo you see, that is what symbols that represent things. That's why they're in a particular color or shape, and that is why people can resonate with it. So as an artist, it's also important that you have this idea in mind. Not necessarily having a color that represents you, but knowing why you use a particular color for a particular work of art. Because say for example, you were trying to paint something that represented a mood. Maybe somebody died or something like that, and you had influenced the work you're trying to do, and there's that moodiness about it. Now you can render it in any color, but you would see that if the color was like purple, it would represent something else to someone else. If it was black, it would represent a kind of doom again to somebody else. And by knowing what these colors do to people, you are able to gauge what the work you're going to do, how it's going to resonate with people. The people don't have to like the work, but you can gauge quite rightly and correctly that your art or your particular work has got a particular frequency that is sending out. Studying color psychology, studying the use of color, what color means, and to what extent how color blends, mixtures of colors, what they represent, would actually really help you in formalizing, and actually delivering your work to a higher level. Because when you have these concepts sewn up, when you understand them, and you do whatever work you want to do, you're able to again explore the range, the latitude of what it means, and you are able to get an audience to really see at least, if not all of it, or see most of what you're trying to represent through your own eyes. Because why art is usually misunderstood is because, one, the visitor to the piece of work looks at it, gets their own interpretation. Now, for the most part, they will be happy if the artist can come up to them and say, oh, I see you're looking at that work. Do you want any sort of, do you want me to tell you how it came about, or are you interested in kind of exploring it? And a lot of people, they want dialogue, they want to talk. They might or might not engage you, but when they engage you, you will have full control. You don't gabble, you don't start making things up on the spot. You just don't start lying to the person, telling them nonsense, talking garbage. You will be able to articulate yourself. You'll be able to break the thing down to the point where the person has a complete understanding. Again, if not all, but a better understanding of what they're looking at through the eye of the artist. And that artist happens to be you. And you're the first person, you're the person who made it, so they're going to believe you more than they believe what they're thinking. You see? So by doing, you're able to pull the person into your universe. And if everything lines up, if you're going to sell that work, it's the person who understands it the best and the person who has the money who is going to snap it up. And trust me, some people do have the money, but they're not going to spend their money most of the time on things they do not understand, or things they can't explain to other people. I bought this work of art, but I don't know what it is. Nobody's going to do that. Just like you can't go into a shop, just see some shoe or a dress or whatever, suit, jacket, and just put it on and walk out, and you don't check whether it fits you, you don't check whether the color matches what you wear. You're not going to do it. And that's how art is also done. But if you go in a shop and there is a sensible, attentive, and well sort of tailored assistant who comes and says, oh, by the way, what would you like to buy? Can I help? Do you need some assistance? And he begins to talk to you about what you're looking at. You may actually stand back and say, you know what? Yes, I like what I'm looking at. Can I have this size or that size, or can I test it in your waiting or dressing room or whatever? You're going to more than likely want to engage and buy. Again, that is how art works. There's not that much different. The only separation is that with art you're spending way much more money, which is the reason why you actually have to not necessarily be salesy. You don't have to sell the artwork like you're selling mangoes, but you have to be able to explain, especially as the artist, you're supposed to be able to explain convincingly to the prospective buyer that this and that or whatever is how this work came about, dedicated to that or not. That kind of dialogue is really what you want to establish. And once you do that, the person may not necessarily buy at the first sight, but you can rest assured that if you keep the dialogue on and you're able to maybe give the person a business card, which as a young artist you should have, you should go make one and put in your pocket. Whether you're still at college or not, you should have one. And don't be fooled by, oh no, give me your phone number. No, that's not good enough. That's not how you do things. You need to have a card. On the card will be your telephone number, and while you may exchange phone numbers with people on the fly, it's good to give them a kind of document. A business card is very appropriate, especially as a young artist, because people remember what you give them. They won't throw it away, but if you just give them your number, You'll just be on their phone. You're not likely going to get a call. So bear that in mind. With that small advice, and I hope the rest of it I was talking about made sense. I hope you have a good day and keep working on the art. Ciao.